Forgive me, y'all. I had to, I know I'm very, very late on this response here about the debate that took place last week between 978's Diplomat 34, aka the Fat King, and the Fight Critic. The debate was between who was better between Felix Trinidad and Danny Garcia, with the Fat King defending Danny Garcia and Fight Critic defending Felix Trinidad. And I must say, the Fat King was very bold enough and brave to even take on the debate. I have to applaud him. Much respect to him. Um, Before I proceed with this video, I gotta say, just check out the video, check out their channels, subscribe, sub, share their content, naming the Fat King and the Fight Critic. Both of them got excellent channels. First things first, what can I say? Um, well, they both had very good arguments between the two. They did. But I was very, very, very impressed with the Fight Critic because this man is very, very, very analytical when it comes to his research, and it seemed like everything that he dug up, from ranking systems um, to the fight, the fight records they've had, their opponents' win loss record ratios, whatnot. It was just unbelievably impeccable, and I was like, wow. I mean, this man knows how to do his research, hands down. Okay, and he broke it down piece by piece to the point that where there was times in the debate that the Fat King didn't have any answers to. He was pretty much lost for words. um, Now, as the Fat King, on the other hand, yeah, he did have some good points, but he tried to really discredit Felix Trinidad, and he tried to make this one of the core pieces of the debate about the hand wrap situation that took place before the Bernard Hawkins fight. Okay, now, yes, the hand wraps. Yeah, there was some situation where Felix Trinidad had placed the tape on his hand before the gauze that was applied, or something like that, which is totally borderline illegal in the state of New York. So that's where the Hopkins case cat was making an argument about, and they forced to wrap his hand. Okay, but the Fight Critic brilliantly got out of that trap and said, "Look, if you want to make this a big issue, then why did the other states bar Trinidad for wrapping those hands the way he did?" Okay, so that was brilliant on the Fight Critic on his part. But the Fat King, he tried to equate the situation to the Louis Resto Antonio Margarito situation. Now, let me shed some light on that one. And this is to the Fat King. First things first, man. That situation between Louis Resto, Tony Margarito versus Felix Strand is totally irrelevant. Even Nassim Richardson can point that out, because Margarito and Resto were wearing plasters in their hands, okay? They had some type of substance that forms as a cast, which is extremely dangerous, which you can actually not only knock a guy out, but you can literally kill him, okay? Because it makes your hands feel like cement. So that's opposed to Felix Trinidad's situation. So that argument is totally irrelevant. So I just don't understand why he kept dwelling on that. But he also brought up Pernell Whitaker, brought up his drug use situation. I didn't understand, why was that even necessary? Why are you going to bring up the fact that Pernell Whitaker was a crackhead? Okay, are you saying that it's Felix Trinidad's fault that Whitaker was a crackhead? I mean, last thing I recall, yes, he had some drug issues during late of his career, but that's not Felix Trinidad's fault. So why are you going to fault that on Trinidad? Okay, that doesn't dismiss the fact that Pernell Whitaker was the undisputed champion at lightweight. He's a 3 division champion and Hall of Famer, an all-time great, who's one of the greatest Olympians of all time. Okay, now the Fat King also mentioned that Nate Campbell was an undisputed champion. That is totally inaccurate. Nate Campbell was never an undisputed champion. Yes, he was a unified champion, but he was never an undisputed champion. The only title that he didn't collect was the IBF title. And the Fight Critic corrected him on that, but he still insisted that Nate Campbell was an undisputed champion. So let me shed some light on that. Okay, the WBO became recognized after 2007. Nate Campbell won the unified titles in 2010, I believe, but he did not have the IBF title. So to become the undisputed champion, you have to have all 4 titles. And the the Fight Critic perfectly pointed out that Bernard Hawkins was the only guy to unify all 4 titles. The only guy in history to do it before losing them to Jermaine Taylor. So good rebuttal from the Fight Critic on that. And also, he tried to shoot down Freddie Pendleton, Obakar, and your boy Campos. Clearly, I don't think the Fat King understood these guys' careers, or he didn't even know anything about them. Because first of all, your boy Campos was indestructible. Okay, he was seemed as an unbeatable guy at welterweight before Trinidad fought him, and many people thought that Trinidad was going to lose that fight to Campos, and apparently he beat Campos by TKO. All right, Obakar, yes, he didn't win a title, but let's not forget Obakar fought some tough opponents, and he beat some good opponents. He beat Frankie Randall, the first guy to beat Julio Cesar Chavez, who was a former world champion. He also beat your boy Campos. Okay? So, Freddie Pendleton. Now, Freddie Pendleton was a damn good fighter. I don't give a damn how many losses he has on his record. Okay? Freddie Pendleton was a world champion. Okay? He had a very, very tough career before he actually won that title. And he won the title in a fashion when people didn't think he could win it. Okay? He beat Roger Mayweather in his prime, knocked him out, a two-division world champion. He also beat Jorge Paez, a world champion, beat him in his prime. And he also beat up-and-coming fighter Tracy Spann, who he beat for the title, the vacant IBF title, to become champion. Okay? So apparently to call him a bum, I didn't, that was totally inaccurate. Like I said, I don't give a damn how many losses Freddie Pendleton have, but he was a world champion late in his career. He beat some good opponents. He beat some good, very tough guys. All right? And Winky Wright. Apparently, the Fat King didn't really understand Winky Wright's career. Okay, first of all, Winky was being ducked by a lot of prime fighters, okay? And I wish the Fight Critic would have brought that up. He was even ducked by Oscar De La Hoya. All right? People would argue that Winky beat Fernando Vargas in that fight back in 1999, when I believe that Winky won it, but but the fact is, at the end of the day, they gave it to the guy who was the cash cow and who was the main attraction. Okay? Winky Wright became the only undisputed 154 champion in history. Okay, he beat the number one pound for pound guy at the time, Shane Mosley, for those titles. Okay, and he beat Felix Trinidad. He made him look he beat him, gave Trinidad his humiliating loss. So why are you trying to make Winky Wright look like he was an inferior opponent? And this is going out to the Fat King. So again, the Fight Critic brilliantly rebutted that and defended Winky Wright very, very eloquently, I should say. So my hat's off to the Fight Critic there. My hat's off to both of them, because this was actually a great debate, and this is something that the YTBC needs. So, but the only thing the Fight Critic did, I wish he could have done, is again, mention the fact that Winky was ducked by a lot of prime opponents. And he made an error where he said that Bob Arum killed Winky Wright and Floyd Mayweather fight. It was actually the Floyd Mayweather management who wanted that fight killed because of the purse split change. Anyhow, hats off. Winner was Fight Critic.